Good morning, viewers. I'm teacher Betty, a chemistry teacher. Now we are going to look at the relationship between equations, masses and moles. If we consider this equation, burning carbon with limited oxygen to get carbon monoxide, what does that equation mean? It means that two atoms of carbon react with one molecule of oxygen to produce two molecules of carbon monoxide. Similarly, in terms of masses, 24 grams of carbon. Why? Because carbon is 12 times 2, which is equal to 24. Then this is 2 carbon. Oxygen molecule is the same as 16 times 2, which is equal to 32. Then 2 molecules of carbon monoxide is the same as 12 plus 16, 2 times 28, which is equal to 56. So in terms of masses, 12 grams of carbon react with 32 grams of oxygen molecule to produce 56 grams of carbon monoxide molecules. So in terms of moles, we use the value that is in front. If there is nothing, it means there is 1. So this means that 2 moles of carbon react with 1 mole of oxygen molecule to produce 2 moles of carbon monoxide molecules. Example, according to the equation, propane plus oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. The question is, how many moles of carbon dioxide will be produced in the reaction of 1 mole of water? To attempt such questions, you have to rewrite the equation. Propane plus 5 moles of oxygen to produce 3 moles of carbon dioxide plus 4 moles of water. Now go back to the question. How many moles of carbon dioxide? Put a question mark below carbon dioxide. Will be produced in the reaction of 1 mole of oxygen. Then put 1 mole below oxygen. Now we are going to deal with only oxygen and carbon dioxide. And always start with a side that is having an answer but not a question mark. So how do we attempt this? Always we begin from the equation and tell the examiner that from the equation, what does the equation say? It says 5 moles of oxygen produces 3 moles of carbon dioxide. 5 moles of oxygen produce 3 moles of carbon dioxide. Therefore, 1 mole of oxygen will produce, you cross multiply 3 times 1 and then you divide by 5, which is equal to 0.6 moles. Therefore, 1 mole of oxygen produces 0.6 moles of carbon dioxide. Example number 2. Again, we are going to use the same equation. According to the equation, propane reacting with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. The question is, how many grams of propane will react with 3.2 grams of oxygen? So I told you to rewrite the equation. Propane plus 5 moles of oxygen to produce 3 moles of carbon dioxide plus 4 moles of water. So go back to the question. How many grams of propane? Put a question marker below. Propane will react with 3.2 grams of oxygen. So now we are only dealing with propane and oxygen. Remember last time we were asked moles, so I was forced to use the values in front because these are the moles. But this time they are asking the mass and we are given mass. The moment you are given mass and they are asking mass, you go direct to the RFM of the required molecules. So this time we have propane and oxygen. RFM of propane. This is the same as 12 times 3 plus 1 times 8. Remember, 12 is the atomic mass of carbon and 1 is the atomic mass of hydrogen. So 12 times 3 is 36 plus 1 times 8 is 8, which is equal to 44. That is the molecular mass of propane. Now come to the molecular mass of oxygen. 5 oxygen. This is the same as 5 times 2 times the atomic mass of oxygen, and the answer is 160. Having obtained the molecular masses in the equation, then you tell the examiner that from the equation we are starting with oxygen. How much did we get for oxygen? It was 160 grams of oxygen reacting with 44 grams of propane. Therefore, 3.2 grams of oxygen will react with, we cross multiply 44 times 3.2, then divide by 160, and the answer is 0.88 grams. Therefore, 3.2 grams of oxygen react with 0.88 grams of propane. C. If 9 grams of water forms, how many moles of propane react? I told you, you always rewrite the equation. Propane plus 5 moles of oxygen to produce 3 moles of carbon dioxide plus 4 moles of water. So if 9 grams of water form, you put 9 below water. How many moles of propane? Put a question mark below propane. So since they have talked of grams, we have to get the RFM of water. And they are talking of moles, we shall use the value in front of propane. RFM of 4 moles of water. This is the same as 4. 1 times 2 plus 1 times 16. This is 4. 2 plus 16, which is equal to 4 times 18. The answer is 72. Now come back to the equation. We have gotten 72 grams from the equation. Then you tell the examiner that from the equation 72 grams of water are formed by how many moles of propane? 1 mole of propane. Therefore, 9 grams of water will be formed by, you cross multiply 1 times 9, then you divide by 72, which is equal to 0.125 moles. Therefore, 9 grams of water are formed by 0.125 moles of propane. The last example is obtained from 2003, paper 1, number 25. When heated, copper 2 nitrate decomposes according to the equation. Copper nitrate producing copper oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and oxygen. The question is, the maximum mass of copper oxide formed when 1.88 grams of copper nitrate is heated is, we are given the atomic masses of copper, oxygen, and copper 2 nitrate. I told you always rewrite the reacting equation. 2 copper nitrate, when heated, it gives 2 copper oxide plus 4 nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So go back to the question. The maximum mass of copper oxide, put a question mark below copper oxide, when 1.88 grams of copper 2 nitrate is heated. So we are now dealing with the copper 2 nitrate and the copper oxide. They want the mass, we go straight to the RFM of what? Of copper 2 oxide. This is the same as 264 plus 16, which is 2 times 80. Now we come to the 2 copper nitrate. 2 copper nitrate. We are told that the RFM of copper nitrate is 188. So this is the same as 2 times 188. Now we go back to our equation. I told you we begin with the side that is having an answer. So from the equation, what have we obtained from the equation? We have obtained 2 times 188 grams of copper nitrate producing 2 times 80 grams of copper oxide. Therefore, 1.88 grams of copper nitrate will produce, we cross multiply, which is 1.88 times 2 times 80 over 2 times 188. When we look at our answer, we don't have a 2, so we can reduce by 2 and remain with our answer as C. Find more activities on the website of digitalteachers.co.ug.